They went from underdogs to shocking the entire world. Leicester City's title-winning squad of 2016 had the biggest overachievers in the game. But 8 years on from that, it's safe to say things have changed. The question is, where are they now? In goal, Kasper Schmeichel was a revelation. He joined Leicester from Leeds United in 2011, having played for Manchester City in the past two. And in that special 2015-16 campaign, Schmeichel was rock solid at the back. Saves like this helped him to 15 clean sheets in the league, and at the end of the season he became the second Schmeichel goalie to win the league, after his dad for United back in the 90s legacy. Schmeichel remained at the club until 2021, where as captain he took the club to another trophy lift in the country, the FA Cup. But in 2022, Schmeichel decided to call it quits on his time at the club and went to join OGC Nice in what felt like a random transfer on EAFC. But he spent only one season there, and now he's playing for Anderlecht in the Jupiter Pro League. His career may have dwindled, but Schmeichel was still a key part of that team, just like Danny Simpson was at right back. Coming into the special season, I don't think anyone expected Simpson to blow up or do anything special. I mean, he'd played for teams like Manchester United and Newcastle in the past, but that season, he was a key part of that special backline at the club. Simpson made over 30 appearances for the Foxes in that magical run, and after that he spent 30 more years at the club. In 2019 he was off to newly promoted Huddersfield Town. After that he moved to Bristol City and went without a club for a while. But at 37 he still rocked up for Macclesfield in League One. Still in defense now, and it's all about the leader at the back. Leicester's captain of the season. Wes Morgan, what a guy! He was Leicester to the core. That season, Morgan was rock solid. He put everything in the tackle and was always willing to give more than 100% to see his team pull through. He legit captained them from fighting for relegation to the biggest night of their lives. A Premier League title. What an achievement! Morgan was still part of the team even in 2021 when they won the FA Cup. But the truth is, during that period, he wasn't playing as much. He knew his body wouldn't be able to keep up the demanding pace of Premier League football for that long. And in 2021, after adding the FA Cup to the bag, Morgan decided to announce his retirement from the game. And now these days, he currently acts as key member of the Premier League Black Participants Advisory Group, still leading off the pitch too. Morgan wasn't alone at the back, and now his center-back partner was another veteran who'd been long enough in the game to see everything and added experience to the squad in key moments. Robert Huth. The German defender also played an important role in Leicester's title-winning season at the time. Huth was already 34, but the age was only just a number given the impressive performances he put out. After the season, Huth remained at Leicester until 2018, and at this point he figured there was nothing left to play for, so he retired, only to come back in 2022. This time though in a different position. He's the loans manager at the club. The backline can't be complete without mentioning that funny Austrian at the left back who warmed Leicester hearts and became a nightmare for wingers in the league. Christian Fuchs, Leicester's joker. That season it was like Fuchs couldn't make a wrong decision. Everything he did was amazing. Just like Morgan and Schmeichel, Fuchs was also a member of the team that won the FA Cup 5 years later. And after that, he decided to go on a mini-series adventure with Charlotte Independence, before joining MLS side Charlotte FC. In January, Fuchs announced his decision to retire from the game as a player, but he's still actively involved, this time from the sideline as an assistant coach at Charlotte FC. The backline's done now, and in midfield, the general from France, well, he changed the game. N'Golo frickin' Kante never stops working. For Leicester that season, Kante was immense. He had the most tackles in the team, the most interceptions, and he was everywhere. It gets even better when you realize Leicester copped Kante for under $6 million. An absolute steal. Kante spent just one season at Leicester. The reason was because another club had eyes on him, and after seeing his impressive performances that season, splashed the cash to cop him. Chelsea. They signed Kante for $30 million, and in return he helped them win the league again. In his 6 years at the Bridge, Kante won the Champions League, Premier League, Europa League, Club World Cup, and even the UEFA Super Cup. In the summer of 2023, though, he felt it was time to move on, and these days, he's currently balling out in the Saudi Pro League. Still bossing it, Kante was one of two central midfield revelations for Leicester that season. The other guy went box to box. Danny Drinkwater. While Kante did the hard yards and tackling and interceptions, Drinkwater hit the progressive ball carries and runs into the box. The two worked as a duo no one saw coming. Drinkwater was just as effective in Leicester's title-winning campaign, and in the summer of 2017, kind of feels like he and Kante simply couldn't get away from each other because he made the switch to the bridge too. He joined Chelsea, but looking back at it now, it never worked out. Drinkwater's spell at the Blues was full of different loan moves to clubs like Burnley, Reading, and even Aston Villa. And ultimately, he was released by the club in 2022 after realizing he wouldn't be getting a club that would keep him at the high level like he wanted. Drinkwater made it public that he was going to retire and pull the curtains on his career. Can't blame the guy. At least he's got more time to watch more videos on Footballers, the channel he subscribed to by hitting that button down below. Down the flanks now and on the left, Leicester had an absolute workhorse that quite simply never stopped. Mark Albrighton Machine. The guy played every minute of that Leicester campaign and has been a mainstay ever since. Post the 2016 success, unlike the others, Albrighton remained at the club and is still a Leicester player to date. He had a brief loan spell at West Brom in 2023 for 6 months, but that's as far as it got. Albrighton featured prominently down the left wing for Leicester, but it was down the right where most of the attention was focused on, because the guy down that flank, well, yup, Riyad Mahrez. What a guy. Mahrez's form that season caught everyone by surprise. It was like watching an Algerian version of Neymar in the Premier League. He could do everything: score, assist, dribble, create big chances. All he needed was the ball. In truth, Mahrez's form meant he was only going to stay a couple of seasons at the Foxes, and in the summer of 2018, Mahrez's transfer saga that lasted half the year was finally over. He'd made the $35 million move to Manchester City. Mahrez spent 6 years at City and won everything, including the treble last season. These days, though, he's balling for Al Ahly in the Saudi Pro League, and is still as smooth as ever. Damn, to attack now, and the first of the duo up top was an unsung hero. Shinji Okazaki. He scored only 5 league goals in that title-winning season, but his work off the ball was just as important. Okazaki was always pressing to create space for his teammates, and the reward was that Premier League winners medal in May. After 4 years in England, Okazaki had stints in Spain playing for Malaga and Huesca, and these days he currently plays for Sint-Truidense in the Belgian Pro League. Okazaki was one half of the duo in front. The other half, well, let's just say he needs no introduction. Jamie Vardy. What a season he had. Vardy started like a house on fire. He broke the record for the most consecutive games with goals scored after hitting 11 in a row, and that season Vardy finished as Leicester's top scorer in all competitions with 24 goals and 7 assists in 38 games. That season. Amazing. Since then, Vardy's only gotten better. He's Leicester's all-time top scorer in the Premier League with 136 goals, and even at 37, he's still going strong. Vardy rejected a move to the Saudi Pro League worth millions just to stay at the club, and he's guided them back to the league after sealing promotion from the Championship in May. His career is already legendary enough, with the Premier League Golden Boot Award in 1920, and won the FA Cup with Leicester in 2021. These guys form the core of the team, but it doesn't mean they played every minute of every game, except Mark Albrighton, of course. On the bench, Leicester had some pretty decent backup options too. Ben Chilwell played understudy to Christian Fuchs that season. He didn't play in the league, but he featured in the cup competitions. And now Chilwell is currently one of the captains at Chelsea. He grew up. Players like Demarai Gray and Jeffrey Schlupp also had important roles to play in Leicester winning the league, and while Gray went on to join Everton and later moved to the Saudi Pro League at Al Ettifaq, Schlupp made the switch to London to join Crystal Palace and is now one of the captains of the club. But you see, guys, there's no team without a coach, and the man down the touchlines during that magical run was the Italian maestro, Claudio Ranieri. Legend! He took the club from battling relegation to winning the big one, but months after, Ranieri was sacked and replaced by Craig Shakespeare. Since then, Ranieri has had spells managing Fulham, Watford, Roma, Sampdoria, and most recently, Cagliari. He's already announced that he'd soon retire from the game, and it's obvious that the moment from 2016 was the biggest in his career. It'll go down in football history. I even heard the reason Ranieri and his players were that united was because he got them to bond over videos from footballers. They all hit that subscribe button down